Hello, and welcome to something new I'm going to start doing. As local tournaments start reopening, I'm going to be doing tournament reports. It's a way for me to keep a record of how I'm doing and how I'm progressing, and also a way for me to learn and look over my mistakes from that locals. So, straight into this one. This weekend, it was a 12-person tournament, so a little on the smaller side than what I'm used to. But that means 4 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh! And my first round was against Gadgets. I lost the dice roll, but it was Gadgets. They summoned Red Gadget, they searched Green Gadget, and they set one past turn. I then OTK'd them, and the same thing happens in game 2. So, yeah. In round 2, I was against Salmon Grape. I won the dice roll, I combo, and they scoop. In game 2, I sided in all my back row hate, so my Twin Twisters, Harpy's Feather Duster, Red Reboot, and they ended on a somewhat threatening board of Phalanx, Abyss Dweller, and 2 set cards. I started with Twin Twister on the back row, which is 2 imperms. So those went, and then I activated Gamma, tributing a Drytron so I could summon them both, make move beta, attack over the Dweller, make Zeus. I pass the turn to them, and they have no follow-up for the Zeus, so they scoop it up, and that's another 2-0. Round 3, I am in a Drytron mirror, and I lose the dice roll. So my opponent goes first, they full combo through an imperm, and they flip Imperial Order, and I scoop. Game 2, I full combo, they scoop. But we'd gone through quite a bit of time, and going into game 3, we had something like 5 minutes left. So they're going first, and they activate Cyber Emergency, and get a Drytron name. I activate Roll. So they use the Drytrons they have in their hand to make the Lillusk XE, and they pass it to me with 1 set card also. I had an awkward hand, but I knew if I could get to Natasha, I was winning no matter what time was. But because my hand was so awkward, I didn't realize I just had no access to Natasha. I probably did have access to Natasha, but just didn't think it all the way through, which is my bad. But that's what happens. So I start my turn, I make Phoenix, pop his back row, and then I'm left on a field of Phoenix, 2 monsters, and he has the Lilith XE, and he's already used the effect, so it can't be destroyed by anything. And I'm just thinking of ways to get to Natasha, and I don't realize I had the Underworld Goddess in my extra deck, which would have let me get rid of his Lilith XE and then attack for game. But yeah, that was my mistake, and that led to a draw. So at this point, I am 2-0-1, technically undefeated. Yeah, going to round 4. Going into round 4 against Infernoble Knights. A very quick game 1. They won the dice roll, and they activate Aqua Dolphin. They see my hand, I have no interruptions, and then they summon a tuner, and that's just game over for me at that point. So we go to game 2. Game 2, I full combo, and they can't play through it, so they scoop. Game 3, the all-important game 3. And they asked my opponent starting, but they bricked. I think they had Fireflint Lady, Triple Tactics Talent, Called by the Grave, and 2 equip spells. And neither of them was Durandal, so no way to get a second warrior, which meant they set one and passed it to me. So I had more than enough to OTK them, and so I took the win, and I ended on a 3-0-1 record. So 3 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw. Yeah, apart from the Underworld goddess thing, I think I played rather well. It's playing Drytron. It's a pretty standard build. So I'm playing the standard Drytron setup. So 3 Alpha, 3 Zeta, 2 Gamma, 2 Delta, and then the standard Heralds. So 3 Diviner, 3 Orange, 1 Ava, which is now limited, unfortunately. I'm also playing 1 Lancia. Lancia comes up against like Virtual World, against Phantom Knights, and against Tri-Brigade. But it also comes up with Diviner, which I can explain in a bit. Rituals, Draconids, and Ultimates. And then we've got the lower level ones of Benten, Idleton, and Natasha. Playing Natasha, kind of the same reason for the Lancia. So it opens up the synchro line, but also it helps with preparation rights. It means preparation rights isn't a dead card when I go through the first turn combo. I got 3 Cyber Emergency, 3 Drytron Nova, 2 Drytron Fafnir, the field spell. It's a 4th and 5th copy of Nova, and it's also a ritual spell if I need it. People say it plays into draw, which it does, but when you're siding, you can always just side this out, and it doesn't really hurt your consistency much. I play 2 Meteorus, so 2 ritual spell. You can just play 1. 2 doesn't come up often, but when it does, you are very thankful for it. 1 Called by the Grave, and 3 Imperm. I'm playing Imperm as my hand trap, because in the combo mirror, you want to see something over nothing. Yeah. So that's the main deck. The extra deck, got 2 Mubeta Fafnir, 1 Beatrice, and 1 Zeus for the XEs. We have Link Weibo, IP Masquerader, Phoenix, Unicorn, Appaloosa, and Ballsword, and then Underworld Goddess. So, Underworld Goddess I'm playing because it acts as a kaiju in this deck when you can't play kaijus. Helps you get around like weird cards like Dragoon or Towers type cards, and yeah, it's also a nice IP target. So Chaos Ruler, this is what I was talking about with the synchro plays. Being able to fish for a light monster and just send Drytron names to the graveyard really helps out if you're like in a tight spot. And got double Arclight, 1 Entis, kind of standard. You don't need 2 Arclights, but it sometimes comes up. It's like having 2 ritual spells. Side deck, back rotate, triple twin, reboot, and harpies, feather duster. Then for the hand traps, you've got the second Lancia, which is in the side. You've got triple draw and lock, and triple Nibiru. So Nibiru is for the mid-range decks, so the Salmon Greats, the Infernobles, that kind of stuff. Droll for the dragons, for the Drytrons. Then the second Lancia, if it comes up, against Virtual World, against what was the other one? Tri Brigade. And yeah, it's also just a fairy, so if you really need hand traps, you can put it in so it becomes a fairy for orange light. The Flexbot, 3 Chalice. This could be 3 Ghost Bell if I see DD Crow and Cycle Reader become more of a thing. But right now it's Forbidden Chalice for the virtual matchup or the Tribe Gate matchup. Or the Shadow Winder matchup, if I ever see that. And yeah, so I think the only change I would make after this week is playing Downward Magician. But although it wasn't needed, it's a thing that can come up quite often. So yeah, that's it for the tournament report. So I will see you next week for my next tournament report. Adios.